Welcome to the Pocahontas County Opera House Story Sessions. Tonight, our guest is Jake Krack.
So that was a tune called Hannah at the Spring House. And that comes from a fiddler I spent a lot of time with named Melvin Wine. And for a long time, I had cycled through several other songs of his that have been my favorites. But in recent times, Hannah at the Spring House has become one of the most memorable tunes of Melvin's that he always played, and he played in the time period that I was around with him. Pretty cool tune, very hard to follow for some accompanists, and it's just got an odd beat and odd chords, so it always speaks to me. So recently started thinking about different ways to inspire myself to play music at home with nobody else around other than my wife and my kid. And I started thinking about stories, and I'm telling this even though I'm not going to play one of Melvin Wine's tunes, but I started thinking about stories from Melvin Wine about, for 20 years, he quit playing music or more, and because he needed to work and provide. He had 9 kids, and so there was no time for music and no time for going out and playing. And he had a grandkid around, and the grandkid would never behave. and would never settle down. And he tried everything. He tried whooping her and bribing her and threatening her, and it just nothing would do anything. And so he thought, I've got this fiddle. And he said, I've got this gift, and I'm going to get the fiddle out and try to play. And so he got the fiddle out, and it instantly had an effect on her. And there's even somebody did a painting of this scenario, and there's a famous painting of Melvin with a young girl playing, and not that I have any of those problems with my kid, because she's an angel, but started thinking about that, and the other night when I came home from work, I thought, well, I'd play her some music because I got home late, and I'd play her some music to ease her to sleep from the excitement of me coming home. Got my fiddle out, and I tuned it down low. Normally, I have it tuned at standard tuning, but I tuned it down low so it was quieter and mellower, and played her a couple real quiet, haunting tunes, and it was 2 tunes in, and the music that normally excites her and gets her riled up had her eased in and ready to go to bed and eyes closed. And so it made me really reflect on that gift of Melvin's and that story that he shared with me when I was a boy that had no real meaning to me as a teenager that I 100% understand now. So that was a pretty neat cycle that I hadn't really ever experienced. So that being said, I'm not going to play one of his tunes right now because that's not what's on my mind. I'll play one from another old man I learned from named Lester McCumbers from Calhoun County. And this was a tune that I've never heard anybody play other than Lester, unless they learned it from Lester. And he learned it from his dad. So this is a tune called Sally Coming Through the Rye. when I was learning, and my first fiddle teacher I was exposed to, Brad Leftwich, taught me a lot about West Virginia fiddle music and North Carolina, and he had a lot of influences from the Ozarks and the Midwest. And I mean, he's a very excellent fiddler, and he had a lot of excellent influences from around the country. But one thing he taught me about instantly was tuning my fiddle. And I was young and not real good at it, and I used to always have to have my mom tune my fiddle. And then I used to always have to have a tuner. And over the years, now I don't have a tuner at all. And Dad, when he used to have a music business, used to give me one of the newest tuner out, so I would use it and sell it. And every time he'd give me a tuner, I'd give it to somebody else. And I'd never use it, so I still don't own a tuner. But I love cross-tuning, and it's one of the greatest things about old-time fiddle. As great as just standard tuning is, and there's a million tunes in that, there's a lot of great things about playing fiddle and the sounds it can make when you tune to other tunings. So I'm going to tune a little bit. Step up in stages here. There's all kinds of names for these tunings. So I'll just throw one out there, and somebody will disagree and somebody will agree. It's called high bass tuning. I think this is one of the first tunes I ever learned that came from the Hammonds family here in Pocahontas County. And then I remember, I think it was a Chamber of Commerce dinner or something going on here where there was a function and I was asked to come play, and this was the tune I chose, and it was just a really cool tune, and I can imagine playing it solo on the Williams River and stuff. So this tune called Fine Times at Our House. there's a festival called the Appalachian String Band Festival. The first time I ever went to that was by direction of my fiddle teacher, Brad Leftwich. And he had given me a picture of Melvin Wine and Mike Seeger together in a photograph. My goal was just to get Melvin's autograph when I went there. And he'd also taught me a waltz called Wolves in the Woods that came from a cassette tape of a lady and her husband, Betty Vornbrock and Billy Cornett. So I went to Clifftop with the big goals of meeting Betty and getting Melvin Wine's autograph. Pretty soon off, I found Betty and ended up camping next to her and told her what my goal was, and she played the waltz for me, and we hung out, and Betty and I have been friends since I was 10 years old. And ended up getting to meet Melvin, got his autograph, and that year Mike Seeger happened to be there, and I got his autograph as well, which was total bonus. Melvin, I didn't know, couldn't write or could barely write his name, so I got his name written on that photograph, and that was a cool experience witnessing that, not really knowing what it was at that age. And but here lately, I normally see Betty a couple times a year, but didn't have the fortune of being able to do that this year. And Betty she used to live in Calhoun County, where I moved to in West Virginia, and knew one of my best friends in high school's parents prior to either one of us knowing each other or being born. And so Betty sent me some, I'll call them artifacts from Calhoun County. So it's had me thinking about her a lot, and her husband have a Christmas tree farm down in Hillsville, Virginia. But it's got me thinking a lot about this waltz, and I've never forgotten it. It's a real pretty tune. So it's called Wolves in the Woods. And Betty is the queen of waltzes. I mean, she can play a waltz prettier than anybody. I don't claim to be anywhere near that, but hopefully she'd be proud of this.